It's been a month or so since my last video summarizing where we are on the car. Thought I'd do one today. Things are going pretty well. We are block sanding the body and the panels, getting them ready for color. We have the roof block sanded in 180 grit, and it is ready for final primer, which means that the next sanding will be ready for color. Likewise, the tops of the quarters are also blocked, and we'll reprime these and block sand them one more time and finish them in 180, and then they'll be ready for color. The doors are blocked in 180, and they are ready for final primer. They're here in the booth waiting for our next priming. They are ready for final prime, which means that they will be ready for sanding and for color. Here's the passenger fender, and its first block sanding has occurred. You can see down below here a little bit of the results of why we block sand. These high areas where it's been sanded through reveal a low area in here, and especially in a black car, that discrepancy will show. There's highs and lows up through here, but these don't matter because the fender gets a metal insert on top of this. This doesn't actually show. So we get a little freedom there to save some time, because the more important thing is the condition of the other piece of metal. So this will be blocked and finished, and then it'll be ready for final primer, which means that it's ready for color. And then the firewall's been sanded, and it's ready for final primer. The firewall is kind of a part of the car that doesn't take a lot of prep. You can see these black lines. They represent actually tooling marks in the metal, and it would be overdone to sand all this smooth. So to be accurate and authentic, you really need to leave those in. They're part of the patina, or the car that's correct. Cowl's been blocked once. We'll take a priming and block again. The hood and the deck lid we haven't done anything to yet, but they likewise will go quickly. And the jams have been done. What we're working on now is fixing the quarter panels, and I have this one cut off. I think we've seen pictures of this already on the internet. This isn't necessarily new, but I have templated this shape and transferred that to a piece of metal, and been working on getting that part created. This is the paper template. I won't be able to hold it up there with one hand, but this is our paper template of this shape. Maybe I'll set this tire right here. That works. This is a mat of that particular part, and all the details are either drawn in or cut in. And then this is taken to a blank piece of metal. We'll do this like a cooking show. This is the paper template transferred to a piece of blank steel. It's just flat, cut off with a lot of extra room to make our details. We need to add 3/4 of an inch minimum. I put an inch on here to fold over for our flange where we will weld the outer skin to. All these details are put into that paper. So we lay this in here, and we transfer those details over to the metal, and then we start to build the part. The paper gets put on, and the details get put in. We have a bead roller, and we roll the beads in, and then these details, these two shallow ones I put in simply by using a modified hammer form. I took this piece of hardwood and essentially laid it on the metal, and then clamped another piece of wood on either side of the line here, and just formed that metal into the crevice and made those. And they'll take a little more detail. This side is actually the side that doesn't show. This will be covered. This is the side that will show. I need to finish these out just a little bit. And then the front one is much larger. You can see the depth of it. So I was a little worried about being able to stretch the metal that far. So I just cut it, opened it up, and then put a filler piece in and made that. Afterwards, I turned the flange. And what will happen is I'll build a new outside skin, and that'll go on there. And we turn the corner, keeping in mind our template, which I've allowed to fall off the workbench. And we've got to watch this shape. I have a little bit of a blue line right here, you can see. That's where my metal needs to be a little more nitpicked so that the quarter panel will fit correctly. I did end up having to take this part of the quarter off because the rust on the original was too far up into here. But this fits very nicely. It shows more better on this side. That fits as it should to the contour. We'll do a little more detailing, and then that'll be ready to go on. So tomorrow I'll cut this line and get off this extra material, and we'll start towards putting that on. So tomorrow this rusted metal will come off, and I'll start to incorporate my new panel in. What I've done up here is put some dimensions in, 2 dimensions. Here's another one. And what those tell me is that from the crease here down to the bottom of the car is 49.5 centimeters. And then over here it was 47.7 centimeters down there. And that tells me where the bottom of the car is. Because once I cut this off, you sort of lose that location. And as I'm trimming my replacement part, I will be able to continue to maintain the dimension to where this is. This is a straight line. So with these 2 points, I'll be able to lock in that. So I need to work on my replacement here a little bit. Sorry for that noise. This has a detail in it. It's not straight. You can see, I hope, the gap through there. So I have to make sure that I have that shape into my piece. And I'll get it fitting up there pretty close before I cut it off. Try and maintain this originality for as long as we can, so that we know that all our references are good. And things change, but my plan is still to come down here to do my weld. There's a lot of strength that will help minimize my distortion in this double fold right here. So I'll get this cut off, I'll get my new one tacked on, and then I'll start to build the outside one. I won't finish welding this one on until I've built my outside panel, so that any changes that I discover, if I did anything wrong in this, I can get it back off easily and make corrections. With care, that shouldn't be necessary.